Welcome to Good Work West Texas. I'm Cindy Payton, and I'm your host today. Leslie's not with us today, and so I asked Jay to come in and be a part of this podcast recording. And so I want to welcome Steve Taylor. So, Steve is with the Experimental Sounding Rocket Association, and
Very good.
very good. I did it. And Ezra for short. And
Mhm.
so we just want to spend some time talking to you about Ezra, what that is. When people see this podcast, we want them to know not only about you and the organization, but why you're coming to Midland, and just so how we can be good Midlanders and get involved in the good work that you're doing for students, really from all over the world. And
Right.
so, thank you for joining us
Well, thank you
today.
for having me. I
Very
appreciate the
good.
opportunity to share my message with the folks in Midland.
Yeah, yeah. So, well, first, tell us, Steve, just a little bit about you, yourself, your involvement in the organization, and what does it really mean? You're going to have to explain some rocket terminology because I'm
Sure,
going to assume that some of our listeners do not know all that,
sure.
and I certainly have things to learn. So, uh,
So, me personally, I'll just start with the present tense, sort of. I'm the president of ESRA,
okay,
and to say that I've been involved with rocketry since I was a kid is accurate. But more on the hobby side.
Mm,
So I was inspired by the Neil Armstrong stepping first step on the moon. I was 10 years old, and it just had a lasting impression on me that I've held through the rest of my life. Although I went into business, well, first chemistry, and then on into business after that. I've always had been bitten by the rocketry bug,
mm,
and so that's the quick and dirty me. What I'm real excited about, I think, is having well, just to draw one parallel. Excuse me for a second. I was inspired by Neil Armstrong and our race to the moon. Well, we have a race to the moon right now again.
mhm,
I mean, the Artemis 2 flight that broke the record in terms of how far man have been away from the Earth, like that should be inspiring. And that's what I would love to be able to bring to both the students. I mean, they're already inspired. They're already in their engineering disciplines to
mhm,
participate in the space economy. But it's really what I bring. I hopefully to Midland is who's the next me.
mm,
I want to inspire the youth so that they have a lifelong passion that I had. And so that's really it's part of my DNA, and it's part of what inspires me.
mm,
It's part of why I got involved in this group. I am fortunate enough to have, of my six kids, I have one aerospace engineer
mm.
I guess listened to me. The others, everybody had their, as you can imagine, with six kids, you get a whole different uh, fields that everybody goes into, and I'm very proud of all of them. But I always have to
Mm.
give her a little bit of juice when I'm talking about one of these things.
that's right. So, explain to us the Experimental Sounding Rocket Association. What is that organization? Tell us what the name means. Tell us a little bit about what the organization does, the mission, and what
Sure.
you're trying to accomplish.
Sure. Well, we've been around for over 20 years. Initially, the experimental sounding rocket was, back in the 50s and 40s when rocketry was in its infancy. Rockets would not go outside of the atmosphere. And oftentimes they were experimental rockets that were doing sounding experiments that were down to the earth. So that's how this sort of class of rockets got their name. The the thing that we want to do with the organization and what we've started, like the 20 years ago, we started in Utah by
Mm,
folks that were associated, academic folks that wanted to give engineers an opportunity to exercise their skills. It's not the book learning, really. That's important, but then what do you? They're engineers. How do you fabricate
mm,
something that's going to meet the modeling that you did in the lab, and then be able to achieve that is one of the goals of this particular organization, to give the engineers that outlet.
Mm,
As we've evolved, so has the engineering along with these things. And now the universities that bring a team here will be multidisciplinary. It'll be aerospace, but it'll be mechanical. It'll be
mm,
electrical. It'll be chemical to an extent. It'll have a business component to it. It has a multimedia component. So all of these things are basically real life experiences that we bring the students together to come to a project that simulates the real world.
mm,
Um, and that's something that's attractive to our sponsors because they're here to recruit this talent. The ones that have this real world experience have a real leg up on their competition for the same spots. And we've been very
mm,
successful at having those sponsors that come in hire these students that then go into the industry.
mm,
Um, what what we do is exactly that. Now, what are some of the side benefits, right? So it's getting involved with the community. One of the things that really excites me is the emphasis here in Midland and bringing the space economy here.
mm,
And I am developing the space workforce that could go along with that. And there isn't a, there, we're the largest competition in the world. And, we have over 20 countries that are participating this year. Initially, there were over 170 universities from around the world, 18 of them from Texas. So by far the most of any state in the union. But it's really bringing them together, giving them this project, and then having them be able to launch the rocket and see the benefit of the work.
mm. Yeah,
So
this is a fascinating topic and conversation, and I don't have a whole lot of context around that. Seventh grade, I won a science fair project with a rocket that
All
I put
right.
together,
And that's just
and
rocket, I'm
then,
assuming?
and yeah, and one of my favorite movies is October Sky, which is about rocketry.
Right, right.
And so, what would you say? I want to hang out a little bit on influencing people and stuff. So I know you've got students that are coming in.
Hmm.
What would you say to that student who's in high school or university who's looking towards something like this? What would that encouragement be to them?
Well, I think maybe just like you did as a kid, experiencing it, right?
Mhm,
So the thing that I built my first rocket. I was in fourth grade, and it was I hadn't even seen them done before. Like it
mm,
was, I knew that I got the kit, and me and my buddies in the field in the backyard. We launched our first
mhm,
rocket, and it was just the thrill of that piece of it. It's sort of indescribable because that first thing was the thing that hooked me along with the moon landing. But it puts something. It becomes part of your DNA. It's
mm,
it's that excitement of fabricating something and then watching it go into the air and then come down safely and catching the rocket. And yeah, it's just an exciting thing to do. And so I think to inspire the community, I've met with now the Midland ISD, I've met
mhm,
with Midland College and UTPB here locally, and I think the first thing I think that has to be done is they have to come and experience it. Because for us to get involved, I think they have to understand a little bit about what it is we're doing here.
mhm,
It's really hard to understand until you actually experience it. So I welcome their participation in a number of different ways. We've talked about lending judges to the thing because the ultimate goal of the competition for the students is to win a category when we
mhm,
have altitude categories that are part of it. But there's a technical publication that they get out of this. Well, they
mm,
produce a technical paper that is published by the AIAA, which is the American Institute for Aeronautics and
mm,
Astronomics. They're sort of the academic umbrella, which a lot of these engineering students, professional organization,
Right.
after they go into to work, and it's a publication that they get for their name. Now, I went off topic for a second, so sorry about that. But my goal with the universities and with the school is bring your students here.
Hmm.
There's no charge for coming to our convention. There's no charge for coming out to the launch site to experience it. And if you can't come out to the launch site, we're working with the Blake Planetarium, and they're going to live stream our live stream inside the planetarium. So um, I met with them a couple of days ago, but they did the same thing last year with us. And yeah, they're very excited. And the folks that were sitting in the air conditioning watching the rockets go up
That's
were pretty excited too, you know? So,
yeah.
um,
In the middle of June, that's
in the
really
middle of
important.
June, right,
So,
right.
yeah. So just to clarify for our listeners, um, the International Rocket
Engineering
Engineering
competition. They could
Competition,
just call it IREC.
IREC,
Yeah, right.
is coming to Midland, and that is in June.
Mhm.
So all of that starts June 13th, 14th,
It,
some of
it, it
that.
actually, the open to the public on June 15th
Okay.
at the Horseshoe Pavilion.
Okay.
And there, the students will have their rocket displayed with a poster session. You know, we fill up the horseshoe with this, and just you have the opportunity to go talk to the students about their projects, and they want to tell you. You know, they want to tell you
So
what's
anybody can come to that and
yeah,
just observe
yeah,
and talk. Okay.
yeah, yeah.
Okay.
I encourage it. Now, you know, last year we didn't have. Uh, we moved the competition pretty quickly here,
Mhm,
and I don't know that we had much advertising that went out
Mm.
to
mhm,
make people aware of this, but you know, it's better for you know, we want sort of adult supervision if there's children and that kind
mhm,
of thing, because you're in with rockets, and the students have put in a year's worth of work, and they oftentimes make their own electronics. They fabricate the actual body tubes and fins and nose cones, and
mhm.
so they put a lot of work into these things. So,
How long do these teams that come in from all over the world is what we've heard.
oh
Um,
yeah,
so how long do they typically work on those things before they come to the competition?
it's a year long project. They
Okay.
start this thing. We have a application process in October, and
Mm.
they spend from in you know, one of the things we're very focused on is safety, and we have multiple review points. And then we end up with doing a video review, and then when they come to the convention center, we do a flight safety review where we actually take the
Mhm.
rocket apart and make sure everything's going to work correctly.
Mhm.
But it's a full year.
Wow.
Um,
That's inspiring because I know any time that you think about how long it takes to really persevere and work on a project,
mm,
and it's teams of groups of, students that are working together, and then to see that excitement when they get to Midland and spend a couple of days sharing and then get to go out to the launch site to actually see it go.
yeah,
That's pretty amazing.
it's an experience that until you've experienced it is really hard to describe.
Hmm.
It's it truly is one of the most rewarding things that I've done. And it's all because of the reaction of the students after they've seen their rocket fly or off and sometimes fail.
Hmm.
You know, you learn as much from a failure as you do from your success. And these are engineering students and they understand that. And so while it might be, um, there was a team last year that had a payload that didn't work the way they wanted to, and the rocket sort of crashed, and they had a real nice name for their payload, and it escapes me now. I'll have to research this again, but they had a whole multimedia post of and it was funny as all get out about this failure of their rocket,
Mm.
and you know what their payload went through, and it was
Hmm.
hysterical. You know, it was the innovation and the intelligence and just the absolute great nature of, you know, you bring 2,000 college students together, you know, you worry about that. I haven't had a single issue that is worth mentioning that with bringing all these teams together.
Mm.
And they really enjoy the international flair of it. When is the last time? When's the next time they're going to be able to work alongside a team that's from Turkey or from Australia or from England or it's all over Europe, and the Australians come and they're really good. We've had New Zealand. We have Thailand, and we have teams from everywhere. The UAE even has a team, so it's one of those things that that you'll experience multiple different cultures, and we have the opportunity to show them Texas culture,
Mm.
which is exciting to me. This is where I live. This is where we are, and it in the Midland is a very accommodating city. It's something that I've gotten comments from the teams about, that didn't know what Midland was about before, and coming here, um, is somewhat of a culture shock, and certainly to be out in the middle of an oil field in June is a little bit, is a
Mhm.
little interesting to them. But and even our sponsors, when I've polled them after last year's event, they were just couldn't be more happy. And I literally don't remember a single negative comment. And
That's
that's the
fantastic.
community. It's
Yeah.
it's also the what they were doing, but I think it was very welcoming, and
Well, we
we
love to
really
hear
appreciate
that.
it.
We love to hear that because we want to be hospitable. We want to
Mhm.
show that Midland, this region, Odessa is a great place
Hmm.
to live, to work, to do things, and so we want to be. We hope that we can help
Well, we
provide
felt
that.
that. We
Well, I'm
felt it
glad you
for
did.
our first
I'm
year.
glad you
Yeah.
did.
Yep.
Yes. Well, and we want to invite people to have the opportunity to be a part of helping in whatever ways that we can. And
Hmm.
so I love that. Thank you for sharing that. But
How do you my question is, something of this magnitude, how do you pull that off with just yourself? How many people do you have
Oh,
that come with your team, and
yeah.
how many do you need from the community to help pull that off?
So there is a core group of um, I'm going to say 15 to 20 volunteers that are actively involved year round. It's the head of our flight operations. It's the our range safety officer. It's our like these are our head of competition operations, which
Mhm.
are the judging side of things. It's our event planner manager that it's the our executive director. Like so, we have a core, but this is job two, not job one.
Mhm.
Job one is, what you do during the day. Now, I'm fortunate enough to be able to devote the time because I'm retired, but it's by and large, we have a core group that work year round.
Mhm.
And then after that, we have a group that will be part of the competition. So they'll be judging. So they'll come on site and they'll look at build quality. They'll judge the technical papers that have been submitted before the competition. Actually, May 15th is
which is today.
today.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, actually, May 20th, I think, is when their technical reports are due. Um, but then that group goes to judging, and then they come on site to do judging here. And then I have a group of because to launch this class of rocket, you have to have a certification by a national organization to be able to do that. And a lot of the students there, we're working with them to get their, a level one, level two, level three certification, but a lot of teams aren't there yet. And so we have what are called flyer of records. So each one of the teams has a flyer of record that takes responsibility for their flight.
Mm.
And so that's a guy that's level three certified that is donating their time just for the love of the game, and so all told, when we have that core set, but um, we have a group of 150 or so volunteers that work specifically on most of the technical things. But then, there's a group that works on registration. In fact, Jamie
Mhm.
Higgins from Midland is managing the head of our registration process this year.
Hmm.
We look and things that that because we're a bunch of rocket nerds that we don't think about a lot of is sort of we have processes in place that you know we always need more help with things like we have a rocket flight readiness review area, but we got to get teams from their tables back to the rocket room, and so we have a group of runners that we need that
Mhm.
would go identify where a team is, tell them it's their time, and tell them to drag their rocket into the to that room. We have, um, you think about it logistically, we've got to feed all these people,
Right.
all of my volunteers, right? Because we're busy. We're on doing things with the students, and so we have runners for food and bring food back for us. We would need things like to run our merchandise store. Now, the kids love merchandise. I say
Mhm.
kids, the university
Mhm.
students love merchandise, and so that's something that we've purchased the merchandise, but we need to actually man
Mhm.
where we're selling this stuff.
Right.
So there's a lot of these ancillary functions that we really look and would welcome the support of the community for.
So I'm relieved because if I don't have that skill set of anything in rocketry,
Yeah.
at least I can serve food or be at the registration table or those kinds of things. So that's good because that's the thing is it takes people that are passionate about what they do, that have a skill set in some way that they want to help out and want to see what's happening. But then also you may just have people that want to be hospitable and encouraging to, over 2,000 people that are coming from all over the world. I mean, what an opportunity
Mm.
Yeah,
for
to
us to
interact.
experience
Yeah.
culture and to interact. And so I love
It was
that.
it was
And
interesting when I met with the pavilion a couple of days ago. The pavilion people that I've worked with were like, "That's the best thing." I was talking to the international students, and they were out, socializing as well, and really enjoying the students.
yes.
I think, given the opportunity for the community to really help with these sorts of functions, I think will really both have the community gain an appreciation for what we're doing.
Mhm.
The quality of the aerospace workforce, which we're trying to build
Absolutely.
even locally, and really give them a unique opportunity to work with a great group of kids. Again, kids,
Yeah.
but
Kids.
that's
Well,
all right.
we'll say it. We'll say it.
Okay.
Yeah.
The context around what you're doing is very interesting, and Cindy alluded to it about, I'm not a rocket nerd, but I like to serve, I like to get involved, and
Hmm.
so that's why I would choose to be a part of that. My question though is, you've heard a lot of time, or I have, that you never fall in love with a place until you see it, and I believe that you never fall in love with an organization until you serve with it. So, what would be that one thing you would say, like, is it the students that would be that joy for you serving? Would it be just the knowledge, context around rocketry? Or would it be just showing off Midland? What would that one thing be if you were saying it to a group of volunteers? This is why I would want you to come serve.
Well, well, certainly we have the need, so, but that's sort of ancillary to the what I think that they would get out of this. Look, there are the number of people that are capable of launching rockets to this level and this altitude. It's really a finite number of people, though. So, if you take a look at the folks that are level 3 certified in the United States, there's probably somewhere between 15 and 20,000 people. Now, you think of the 330 million people in the US, that's a really finite number of
Mhm.
people that have this skill set. So interacting with both the volunteers and the students, it's unique. And I think that to gain an appreciation, in particular with the students, because um, this is a budding work for all of the students will get jobs in the aerospace industry. I feel very comfortable saying that.
Mm.
We have students that come back and volunteer with the organization because of their experience here. And so I would think Midlanders,
Mm.
Midlanders.
okay,
Yeah.
um,
We'll take whatever.
okay, um, just to see the passion that the teams have, to hear the stories of the teams that were here last year and the appreciation for the community, I think would be a rewarding thing for them. But it's just really cool, I mean,
Yeah.
the bottom line is, like you said, you have to experience it before you get passionate about it. I'm looking to bite, a number of local folks with the rocket bug.
Mm.
And then what I was talking with, the schools is then how do we foster that inside the school system? And how do I give back to the community, sort of us personally, to be able to work with them to have STEM programs that revolve around
Mm.
rocketry. That's, I'm always looking for, you're kind of asking, um, I think the rewarding thing of this for someone that would get involved in this would be to understand that this is truly something that everybody that's here has passion for. And to build that passion here in Midland is really, I think, if you look at where the future is headed, there's always going to be a great oil and gas economy here. But the goal is to build that secondary economy, which is the space
Mm.
economy. And you know, if we could, if I felt like I had a small part of that, that's very rewarding to me personally, and to the folks that volunteer with the organization. So
Mm.
that's what that's what drives us, right? It's building that engineer that's going to have an impact on society and space specifically.
And the great thing is, thank you for just, I mean, when you think about 100% led volunteer organization, that all of this happens with people that already have a first job, and then it's a second job to make sure that this thing goes off well and throughout the whole year. It's incredible to think about the investment of time that people give, but
It's
also just the investment into people's lives. And I think that's we really believe at Every Neighbor that everyone has value and has something to give back. And whether that's a skill set or that's a story or that's a passion that you can share with somebody else, we want to inspire that in people because we believe there's always um, we want to make a difference and we want to make a difference in the lives of educators, of people that are inspiring kids. And I love that, you're giving this opportunity for our community to be a part of what's happening and something that we don't always get to experience, but that we could be a part of. And so thank you for
mm,
just your investment in people.
you
We
know,
really
yeah, just
appreciate that.
so I was inspired by my father.
Mm,
My father, he raised 6 kids. And so, well, my mom and dad did,
yeah.
after he was done with his work, he preached to us, now it's time to give back.
Mhm.
And, he was very successful. He has 6 successful children. And, he did the Meals on Wheels. He did the working inside the hospital to, help out things there. He would go visit people that were at home and just read with them,
Mhm.
like it was that give back. I think
Mhm.
that if we can instill that in this generation, that's what you guys do. That's what we do. And, the inspiration has to come from somebody, I think.
Right.
In my case, it was my father, but and in hopefully I have, and I looked at what's my unique skill set that I could give back to. I'd love to help, some of the other nonprofit type stuff, but my unique skill set is this.
Mhm.
And for me to give back by doing this, that's, it's meeting my goals and more importantly, my dad's goals.
Right.
So
It's very well said.
yeah.
Very well said.
Very well said.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Well,
Now, I didn't give the website one.
yes, yes.
Let
Share
me
what
at least share the website.
Yeah.
yes.
It's Ezra, ESRA,
Mhm.
rocket.org.
Mhm.
All one word, EzraRocket.org. We also have a YouTube channel
Mhm.
where you can take a look at, the excitement of past competitions. On our website, we have a lot of information that hopefully will inspire. And this is a big event,
Mhm.
and I want to make sure that we get the word out.
Right.
Mm.
To participate, to volunteer, to donate to the organization.
Yeah. Oh,
There's
yeah. There's that.
opportunity. There's opportunities. We believe that people are inspired to give in different ways, and some can do it through financial means. Some can do it through their time, through their skill set, and so
Hmm.
we just want to let everybody know to go there to see how they can get involved. And it's the week of June 15th
So
is that
yeah,
critical
just to
week.
give you this, it's a critical week. It's one day well, there's 2 days in the horseshoe. The first day is the setup, and then the second day is that conference that we're talking
Mhm.
about, and then it's off to the launch site.
Yes, which we didn't even talk
We
about
didn't even
really
talk
quick.
about, right?
So the Saragosa,
Yeah, it's outside of Saragosa,
okay, which
and
is in Reeves County,
that's correct.
and we can give directions to that so people won't
Yes,
get lost. Okay.
yes, yes, yes,
Okay.
yes. Um,
Mm.
it is, you're riding on roads that are not necessarily paved. They
Mhm.
may have a wash or two. So, it's one of
Yeah.
those, it's a little exciting getting to the launch site, but Reeves County is committed to help us a little bit with the roads. So that'll be good. And
Mm.
to be there in person. Now, the experience is one thing, but we need volunteers there too. It's
Mhm.
the same, it's a little, it's a little bit of a drive, but we need the same sort of thing. We need the folks that help, feed and water the volunteers, and that will sell merchandise, that are runners. The same sort of set of folks that we're looking here
Mm.
to do.
Okay.
And you think the convention center the pavilion is exciting. That's where the excitement
Mm.
starts.
Right.
And then the award ceremony, which I don't know that we need volunteers for the Bush Center. We probably could use
I
merchandise.
think there's a couple of
Yeah,
things that I saw
yeah, there's
on that
probably some of
Saturday.
that.
Mhm.
But then the energy around the award ceremony, you've got, you know, 2,000 kids hooting and hollering when either the name is called, or, it's
Mhm.
the thrill of victory, or the agony of defeat
Yeah.
that you get to experience with them as well.
Mm.
So,
It's exciting.
Well, Steve,
Very exciting.
thank you so much for coming and sharing and
well, I love talking
tell,
about it, as you can
Yeah.
tell, right?
obviously, but it's a great opportunity for not only for you to be in Midland and to share with us what you're doing so we can learn more about it and share that with others and who might want to participate or get involved in some way through volunteering, but
Mhm.
just to know about your organization and what you're doing. Thank you for inspiring students again and being a part of that. And thanks for the opportunity just to tell us about it and share
Mhm.
with what we're doing. So,
Well, thank
Great.
you for having me.
Yeah.
I appreciated the opportunity.
yeah, thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Thank you.